How did a woman sneak onto multiple international flights without a ticket? Watch the security footage to find out. Along with that, we have UFOs, missing persons, and ghostly passengers. These are mysterious things captured on camera at airports. What you're looking at here is footage from a pretty well-documented UFO sighting at O'Hare Airport in 2006. The case gets talked about a fair amount because it happened in a place full of trained aviation workers, not just random people looking at the sky. It was November 7, 2006, around 4:15 to 4:30 p.m. at Chicago's O'Hare International Airport. A group of United Airlines employees working near gate C-17 said they saw something strange sitting in the sky above the terminal. One ramp worker first noticed it while pushing back an aircraft. He pointed it out, and other workers nearby started looking up too. And before long, more airport staff were watching it. Reports say there were around a dozen employees who saw it, including pilots, mechanics, and ramp crew. They described it as a dark, metallic, disc-shaped object hanging under the cloud layer. It wasn't moving, it was just hovering there quietly, barely made a sound. After a few minutes, people said it suddenly shot straight upward at high speed and disappeared into the clouds. A couple of witnesses also mentioned seeing a clean circular opening form in the cloud layer right after it left, like something punched right through it. Air traffic control didn't report seeing anything on radar though. The FAA later said they wouldn't investigate, saying it could have been a weather effect, like a hole punch cloud. That explanation was incredibly flimsy. People clearly saw an object, and these were airport employees who deal with aircraft every day and know what's normal and what isn't. What you're looking at here seems to be some standard, rather unremarkable airport security footage, but it captures a woman notorious for sneaking onto planes. Her name is Svetlana Dali. She's a Russian national with US residency. The first big incident happened in 2024 at JFK Airport. She somehow got onto a Delta flight headed to Paris without going through proper passenger checks. Reports say she blended in with regular travelers, walked through the airport normally, and just made it all the way to the gate without getting flagged. Once on the plane, she didn't take a seat like everyone else. She stayed in one of the bathrooms for most of the flight and only got discovered after the plane landed in France. She was arrested after that and was convicted in 2025 for stowaway charges, but it didn't end there. She later removed her ankle monitor and tried to leave again, which led to another arrest attempt near the Canada border. Then in 2026, she managed to sneak onto another international flight out of the New York, New Jersey area heading toward Europe. She was detained after landing in Milan. It's actually pretty impressive. I'm not even gonna lie, I think this woman's a hero. If I could sneak onto planes and get away with it, I absolutely would, and don't even pretend you wouldn't. Officials have called her a known stowaway, so how does this keep happening? Once is already hard enough, with all the security on planes now, but when someone's already flagged and under supervision, you'd expect airport security to catch them pretty quickly, but in this case, she still managed to get through multiple stages of airport screening more than once. What you're looking at here is surveillance footage of someone walking across the runway at an airport seconds before being hit by a plane. And this is footage captured inside said plane the moment the accident happened. This took place at Denver International Airport just a couple weeks ago. Frontier Airlines flight was taking off late at night. A pedestrian had somehow gotten past the airport's perimeter fence and made it onto the runway area. The person wasn't an employee. He had no authorization to be anywhere near the airfield, obviously. They crossed onto an active runway right as the aircraft was in its takeoff roll. The jet hit them at high speed. The pilots aborted the takeoff almost instantly after realizing they'd hit something. The aircraft came to a stop on the runway. There was a brief engine fire and smoke started filling parts of the plane, forcing an emergency evacuation. Passengers ended up sliding out on emergency chutes onto the tarmac while firefighters rushed in to put out the fire around the engine area. Even though people on board survived, there were injuries during the evacuation. The whole situation turned into a full emergency response in seconds. Investigators tried to figure out how the person managed to breach airport security in the first place. Reports say they managed to climb the 8-foot perimeter fence and make it onto the runway in minutes. In 2014, a 28-year-old German guy named Lars Mittank went on vacation with his friends to a beach resort in Bulgaria. What started as a normal trip ended up turning into one of the most infamous missing persons persons cases in modern history. During the trip, Lars got into a fight with some other tourists over football and ended up with a ruptured eardrum. A doctor told him he shouldn't fly back right away because of the air pressure, so his friends flew home while Lars stayed behind, checking into a cheap hotel near the airport. This is where things really started getting weird, because he called his mom in the middle of the night, acting totally paranoid. He told her people were trying to kill him, asked her to cancel his credit cards, and said he was hiding from 4 men who were following him. The next morning, July 8th, Lars went to the airport doctor to get cleared for a flight home. While the doctor was examining him, a construction worker walked into the room, and for no clear reason, Lars just snapped. He jumped up, left his wallet, passport, and all his luggage on the table, and just sprinted out of the room. Airport security cameras captured Lars sprinting out of the terminal doors in total terror, looking over his shoulder as if he was being chased. He ran completely out of the airport, across the parking lot, climbed over a barbed wire fence, and just disappeared into a massive sunflower field. He was never seen again. To this day, nobody knows if he just had a psychotic break from his medication or if he was actually being followed. This next video from 2017 keeps resurfacing online from an airport in Thailand. It may look like a group of passengers walking along an airport jet bridge, but there's something strange about it. Notice how there's no plane attached. That's why this clip often gets labeled online as ghosts or lost souls stuck in a loop. Some commenters have said the figures could be spirits from a fatal plane crash at the airport in 2007, where a 1-2-GO Airlines flight crashed and killed around 90 people. But the more grounded explanation is that it's an optical illusion, that what people are seeing as floating or ghost-like passengers are actually reflections caused by the shiny glass walls of the Aero Bridge. But what are your thoughts on this one? Back in April 2012, a passenger on a flight over Seoul, South Korea, captured a strange oval white object in the sky, and the video quickly went viral. People were split on what it was. Some thought it could be something extraterrestrial. Others said it was just something ordinary, like a plastic bag or parachute. The thing isn't on screen for long, but it does appear to be saucer-shaped. At first, some people said it might just be a water droplet on the window, which kind of fits the blurry look, but then it moves across the screen and starts rising. It's definitely not a water droplet. Others still argued it could be a plastic bag or parachute, but again, the movement doesn't really match what you'd expect from either of those. I think back in 2012, the general public was a lot more skeptical of this sort of thing and would make what they thought were grounded explanations, but I mean, nowadays, it just feels like reaching. With all the UAP sightings and reports being released now, an unidentified flying object really isn't that far-fetched. So this dashcam footage comes from a truck driver who was just having a normal, quiet shift until it absolutely wasn't. He ended up watching a plane crash right in front of him. This was back in November at Muhammad Ali International Airport in Louisville, Kentucky. It was a UPS cargo plane, and it was already in trouble before it even left the ground. One of the engines caught fire and tore away from the wing during takeoff. The plane rolled sideways, losing altitude, and in just a few seconds, it came down in an industrial area right near some cargo buildings, parking lots. And when it hit, it erupted into a massive fireball. The truck driver just freezes for a second, jaws on the floor, but he snaps out of it and jumps out of the cab, trying to put distance between himself and the fire, which was already spreading to nearby trucks and buildings. The plane was carrying a heavy fuel load, which is why the explosion was as violent as it was. There was a ton of destruction on the ground too, with multiple fires, buildings were hit, vehicles were destroyed, and sadly, nobody on that plane survived. All 3 crew members were killed. People on the ground lost their lives too, and the total death toll climbed to at least a dozen. This happened during a live TV interview at Copenhagen Airport for the Danish Sports Center. Reporter is talking to a dude with passengers ambling through the background, chatting as they pass by with luggage, but then something weird pops up in the shot. There's a blonde woman standing in the background. That's not the weird part. See, luggage rolls past her, a luggage cart, and then she seems to just vanish. One moment, she's clearly there, and the next, she's gone, still in the exact same spot. No cuts in the video. Well, that has been our video for today. I will catch you, yes, you specifically, in the next one.